getting into it, focusing on one of the biggest events in racing, the Kentucky Derby.
That's right. It's got such a rich history, and, well, there's always massive interest.
Absolutely. And our mission today, basically, is to take the stats and predictions we've got, specifically the Brisnet Kentucky Derby data and the Racing Form Report, and really break them down.
Yeah, see if we can maybe pinpoint some strong contenders for you, maybe even find a potential winner.
Now, we should say up front, picking the Derby winner. It's notoriously tough, right?
Oh, for sure. It's often a bit of a guessing game. But digging into the information, the data we have, it can give you some really valuable insights.
Okay, so let's start with that Racing Form Report. What are their initial takeaways? Who do they like?
So right off the bat, they've got their top picks. That's Sandman, number 17, Journalism, number 8, and Sovereignty, number 18.
Okay, Sandman, Journalism, Sovereignty. Got it.
And they also flagged a couple of long shots. Horses that might, surprise people. That's Rodriguez, number 4, and Citizen Bull, number 1.
Interesting. All right, let's start with the top one then. Sandman, number 17. What jumps out from the data?
Well, first thing, Brisnet gives Sandman a prime power rating of 148.5.
148.5.
Is that high? It's the highest. Highest in the whole field, according to this data. And the Racing Form analysis backs that up. They mention his excellent recent speed, and he's been putting up consistent, triple-digit speed figures.
Okay, consistency is good. They talked about him being a strong closer, that LP figure, lane pace.
Yeah, exactly. An 89 in a Grade 1 prep, that's pretty strong.
So for listeners maybe not as familiar, what does that high late pace figure actually tell us about a horse, especially in the Derby?
Right, so a high LP means the horse has stamina, basically. It can maintain its speed or even accelerate late in the race. And the Derby. It's a long race, 1.25 miles.
And often a fast pace early on.
Often, yes. So horses that can save some energy and still kick it in at the end, they've got a real advantage. That 89 in a Grade 1 tells you Sandman can hang with the best and still have something left.
Makes sense. The Racing Form also mentioned he's run well against the other top picks, Journalism and Sovereignty.
They did. Competed well in those Grade 1s. Plus, solid recent workouts. Their overall take is that he's just very well-rounded.
Well-rounded how?
Got the speed, got the stamina, and what they think is the perfect running style for the Derby. Sit just off the leaders and make a strong late run.
Okay. And the Brisnet data, anything on his breeding, sire. Damn sire.
Yeah, sire is Tappet. Average winning distance, or AWD, is 7.6 furlongs. That suggests stamina. And interestingly, 17% win rate on muddy tracks.
Oh, good to know if it rains.
Exactly. Damn sire, distorted humor, similar stamina picture. And crucially, he won his last race, the Arkansas Derby. That's a Grade 1.
And winning a Grade 1 is a big deal, right? Top-level competition.
The highest level. Shows he's got elite talent.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to their second pick, Journalism, number 8. This one sounds like he's got speed.
Yeah, what's the key number there?
Brisnet clocked his last race speed figure at 108. That is the fastest last race speed figure in this entire field.
Wow, 108. That's impressive.
And his prime power is also really strong, 147.3, just behind Sandman.
So the Racing Form guys must be high on that recent form.
Definitely. They note he's won 2 straight, including a big stakes race. Looks like he's peaking, right when it matters.
And how does he run? Does he need the lead?
They describe him as having tactical speed. So he's versatile, doesn't need the lead, can sit just behind the pace. They think he'll be in a good spot early.
And he still has enough finish for the Derby distance?
They think so. His late pace figures are in the 84 to 89 range. Good enough, they reckon, to be a major factor over that 1.25 miles.
So he could try and wire them or just stalk?
Exactly. They call him a threat to wire or sit just behind. His pedigree from Brisnet looks good, too. Sire Curlin, Dam Sire, Uncle Mo, both suggest stamina and handle mud okay.
And like Sandman, he won a big one last time out.
Yep, won the Santa Anita Derby, another Grade 1, and Brisnet actually notes he has the best overall dirt speed figures among all the starters.
Okay, 2 very strong contenders there. What about the third top pick, Sovereignty, number 18? The Racing Form seemed to think he needs the race to set up for him.
Yeah, he's more of a closer. Their analysis really highlights his finish in the Florida Derby. He came second, but posted a career-high late-pace figure of 97.
97? That's even higher than Sandman's figure you mentioned.
It is. It's the highest LP mentioned in the whole report. And Brisnet also gives him a high-class rating, 120.1, third highest overall.
So that 97 late pace, why is that so potentially valuable?
Well, like we said, stamina. But a 97s suggest a serious late kick. If the Derby pace gets really hot early on, which it often does.
Then the leaders might fade.
Exactly. A horse like Sovereignty, who saves energy early and has that powerful finish, he's the one who could potentially pick up the pieces late.
So a true deep closer who wants a fast pace.
That's the idea. The racing form calls him the best deep closer, but they do add he'll need some luck, getting a clear run, not getting too far back.
But definitely one to watch, maybe at better odds.
For sure. They see him as a price player. Brisnet confirms that Florida Derby finish. Actually, they have him finishing third there. Slight discrepancy, but still a strong closing effort. His pedigree supports the closing style, too. Sire, Into Mischief, okay, stamina, but the dam's sire, Bernardini, has a really long AWD, 8.5 furlongs. Definitely bred to get the distance.
Okay, interesting profile. Now, Rodriguez, number 4, what's the angle there? Speed figures.
Yeah, the racing form liked his final 3/8 times in his last couple of races. Good indicator of finishing ability. Plus, his brisk speed figs were over 105.
Solid numbers. And his prime power.
Also quite good. 146.5 from Brisnet, which actually puts him third overall in that metric, right behind Sandman and Journalism.
So maybe not such a long shot based on that number.
Well, yeah, the numbers suggest he fits. The racing form also notes he's finished in the top 3 multiple times against similar stakes horses.
What exactly is a stakes race?
It's just a higher level of competition. So finishing well in those shows, he belongs with this group. They think he has potential for a late move, maybe even improve further.
And his breeding in last race.
Sire is authentic Derby winner himself, good AWD. Dam's Sire Cherokee Run, decent stamina influence too. And Rodriguez won his last race, the Wood Memorial. That's a grade 2.
So not grade 1, but still a major prep race win.
Absolutely. A significant win shows he's coming into the Derby in good form. The racing form calls him a sneaky long shot.
Okay, sneaky. I like it. Now, the other long shot, Citizen Bull number 1, the trainer, Bob Baffert.
Yeah.
That name always carries weight.
Huge factor. The racing form emphasizes that Baffert is, well, dangerous with these kinds of fresh, speed-oriented horses in the Derby. Citizen Bull's record is pretty good, too. 4 wins from 6 starts, earned over $1 million.
And they mentioned adding blinkers. Why is that significant?
It often is. Blinkers help a horse focus, look straight ahead. Adding them for a race like the Derby, the racing form reads that as Baffert being serious. He thinks this horse has a real shot.
Does he have the stamina, though? You said Baffert likes speed types.
Right. He often shows speed, but they mention his pedigree actually suggests he could have some closing ability, too. Brisnet gives him a prime power of 145.5, which is respectable, definitely puts him in the mix based on their numbers.
So kind of a wild card, but with a top trainer. They said, watch the tote. What does that mean?
Just watch the betting odds board. If a lot of money suddenly comes in on Citizen Bull close to the race, it could be a sign that people in the know are confident. So just keep an eye on those odds fluctuations. His pedigree, by the way, Sire Into Mischief, Dam, Sire Distorted Humor. We've seen those names with other contenders. Suggests he fits on paper.
Got it. Now back to that late speed point. The racing form highlighted Sovereignty and Sandman, but also Journalism and Rodriguez. We've sort of covered it, but just remind us why that late kick is so vital in this specific race.
Sure. It's that combination of the distance, 1.25 miles is a long way for these 3-year-olds, and the typically fast early pace with the big field.
Right. Everyone's eager.
Exactly. So that early speed duel can really empty the tank for the front runners. The horses with proven late pace, that stamina, that ability to finish strongly when others are tiring, they often have the crucial advantage in that long Churchill down stretch.
Okay. And looking at the raw Brisnet stats again, Journalism had that top speed last race. Any others stand out there?
Yeah. Brisnet also flagged Baeza, Citizen Bull, and Rodriguez with high last race figures. Baeza wasn't one of our main focuses, but it confirmed Citizen Bull and Rodriguez showed good recent speed.
And the prime power leaders we saw, Sandman, Journalism, Rodriguez, Citizen Bull, right up there. What does that confirm?
Prime power is Brisnet's big overall number, right? It combines speed, class, earnings, pedigree, lots of factors. Seeing those same horses consistently high on that list tells you the overall data picture points to them as the strongest contenders based on a blend of talent and proven form.
Though a couple others, East Avenue and Tistastic, were also high on prime power.
Right, they had good numbers too. Shouldn't be totally ignored based on that.
In class rating, who led that?
That was Journalism, Sandman, and Sovereignty at the top. Suggests they've consistently faced and beaten tougher competition throughout their careers leading up to this.
Okay. And one more Brisnet stat. Best speed at distance 8 furlongs, meaning a mile.
Right. That was led by Journalism and Rodriguez again. Shows they've run fast over that specific distance. Tistastic and another one, Chunk of Gold, were also mentioned there.
Okay, so after crunching all those numbers and considering the analysis, what are the actual betting suggestions from the racing form? How do they boil it down?
Okay, so for the simpler bets, they like hashtag 17 Sandman for the win.
Win on Sandman.
Place bet, so finishing first or second on hashtag 8 Journalism.
Place dribbles.
And a show bet first, second, or third on hashtag 18 Sovereignty.
Show sovereignty. Okay. What about the exotic bets, the ones with bigger potential payouts?
Right. They suggest an exacta box using 8, 17, and 18. That means betting that Journalism, Sandman, and Sovereignty will finish first and second in any order.
Okay, 8, 17, 18 exacta box.
For a trifecta box, picking the top 3 in any order, they add Rodriguez. So box numbers 4, 8, 17, and 18.
4, 8, 17, 18 for the trifecta.
And then for the superfecta, picking the top 4, they call it a value shot play using all 5 of the main horses we discussed. 1, 4, 8, 17, and 18. Citizen Bull, Rodriguez, Journalism, Sandman, Sovereignty.
All right. Quite specific recommendations there. So let's try and pull this all together. Key takeaways from this Derby deep dive.
Well, I think it's clear Sandman, hashtag 17, looks like a really solid, well-rounded horse. Top ratings, proven stamina, good form.
Yeah, he seems like the logical favorite based on the data.
Then you've got Journalism, hashtag 8, with that top-end speed and tactical ability. He could be dangerous from anywhere.
A major threat for sure.
Sovereignty, hashtag 18, is your closer. If the pace melts down, that 97 LP makes him really interesting.
Needs the race to set up, but has the kick.
And the long shots, Rodriguez, hashtag 4, and Citizen Bull, hashtag 1, they aren't just random picks. They're stats and angles, recent wins, trainer factors that make them genuinely intriguing possibilities.
Yeah, it definitely seems like digging into the Brisnet numbers and the racing form analysis gives you a much clearer picture, even if the race itself can be, chaotic.
Absolutely. You've got a much better handle now on the key things to look for those speed figures. Prime power, class, that crucial late pace, and how the experts are weighing those factors.
So final thought then for you listening, considering everything we've just unpacked, which type of horse profile grabs you the most this year? Is it the steady, high-rated Sandman, the speedy Journalism, the finishing power of Sovereignty, or maybe the potential value in a long shot like Rodriguez or Citizen Bull?
And maybe think about this too. What kind of crazy race day scenario, maybe something unexpected like weather or traffic trouble, could let a horse with a completely different set of strengths pull off a huge upset? Something to ponder before they run for the roses.